Hey, what's up? It's Luisi, and you're listening to The Encouragers Show.
I think it's recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Sweet, man. The man, the myth, the legend. The guy always bother.
No worries, dude. I like talking about it.
Appreciate it, brother, man.
How are you?
Good. I was rushing home. The plane was kind of late today.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, man.
And you're in Reno?
Yeah, Reno.
Oh, so you're not too far from me.
Where you in Cali?
I'm in, Southern California.
Oh, man, it was down the street.
Right?
Yeah. So a lot of the guys are still working right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they usually they come in spurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we can get started. We can get rolling. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get involved with the Pokemon?
So, I mean, I started when I was young, kind of like most people who got into Pokemon. It was one of those things everybody had. It was just going with the trend at the times. But I also did watch the show. I played the games. It was funny. I didn't even have a Game Boy when I was a kid. I played on my cousin's Game Boy. So I would only play when I was at his house, which was very often because he was only down like 2 streets from me. So we kind of just played, and I collected the cards along with a lot of them. I wasn't poor, but my parents weren't going to just spend money on cards. They saw it as gambling at the time, which, I mean, you could say it was gambling, but I collected as a kid. I held on to him for so long. And then maybe like 2-3 years ago, I sold them just because I was still involved in Pokemon, but it was mainly from a playing standpoint, because I think something people forget is it's a game as well. It's a trading card game. So I played the game as well as collected, but at the time I didn't really see much value in it. So I just sold them. I needed some cash, so I sold them. And then it was funny, right after that is when I saw prices going up. So I was like, I sold them, and now I want them back. So I just slowly started getting back into collecting within like the last year, when I started hearing Gary talking about it, because I was trying to get into Gary Vaynerchuk. I was trying to get into sports cards, but I was heavy into sports like 10 years ago, but then it kind of just dropped. My knowledge of the sport started to die down, of who was climbing up. And so I was thinking, well, I don't want to jump into sports if I don't know who's the next big thing. I knew baseball very well, but a lot of the guys who I was watching had already blown up, and I don't know who the next big stars are coming up after them. So I already felt like I already missed that wave of sports cards. So I already knew Pokemon pretty well. So I just transitioned into Pokemon, and then he started talking about prices going up. I started looking, and then I started noticing. So I kept on going. And especially with lockdown, I had all this free time. So I had all this time to do more and more research.
Dang, that's crazy. So you started from the get-go, from when it's first originated, right?
Yeah. And then obviously as I grew up, it was kind of like one of those things that was just in the back door, and I just didn't really pick it up until like, I want to say about 5-6 years ago was when I really got back into it. And then within the past year is when I started actually buying stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, for people that don't know, Luisi, Lou_easy,
Yeah.
at Lou LOO_EASY.
Uh-huh.
How did we kind of meet? Like, I think it was through the Gary V Zoom call.
Yeah.
Right?
It was funny because he was I've been doing that 180 theory he talks about, where you kind of just go and help people out. And I think that's where I saw you asking about, like, oh, who knows Pokemon? So I was like, yo, I know Pokemon. I'll try to help one person out at a time and see if that even clicks or what happens from it. So I just did it. And you've been asking for help, so I've been helping. So you're that one dude I help out.
It's crazy because all the time these guys, my good friend, Good Vibe, at Good Vibe Sports Cars, his name is Donga. He's from he lives in San Antonio. He got all of us, our Encouragers podcast, into collecting cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was through him that we started collecting cards, and then he eventually, his son was collecting Pokemon cards while he was collecting sports cards, and
Hmm.
through that Gary V Zoom call, saw him talking about it and everything, and then one all that went through all the talk of there, and then I reached out. Gary said, what did he say? Like, reach out, you guys start connecting with each other or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I put it out there and you responded, and I've been harassing you ever since. And these guys don't know that every time they ask me a Pokemon question, I go straight to you. I screenshot their stuff and I send it to you to ask questions about it.
Yeah, no
They're gonna
worries.
listen back to this podcast and they'll be like, "Oh, so that's how he does it." I just asked Luigi, man. And Luigi, he's a great guy, man. Complete stranger. The thing that brought us together is the love of Pokemon, or trying to understand it, or
Yeah.
me trying to get to his level. But
Yeah.
can you tell our viewers, our listeners, where they can find you for your YouTube? Your YouTube, you have amazing content on your YouTube. Talks
Yeah.
about
Appreciate that.
Pokemon.
Yeah. So I'm starting to do weekly videos. I'm editing's not my strong suit on a computer, but you can find me on YouTube, Twitch. I'm there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's all at Louisi, the same LOO_EASY. And I'll tell you why I actually picked that. But YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, where we met. What else? All the main things.
Yeah,
But
your
Louisi,
sports.
I picked Louisi just because my name is Luis, and it was funny because it's spelled Luis, but most people tend to ask me that question, like, "Oh, how do you pronounce it? Is it Louis
Mm-hmm.
or Luis?" So I'd always tell them it's Luis, but I'll answer to either one. I'm so used to it now, and they keep calling me Louis. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to spell like a phonetic way of actually saying my name, so that way it's easier for them. And then I clicked. I was like, Luis. So that's kind of how the name came, and it's stuck ever since. So it's my gamer tag. It's whatever I used it on. So LOO_EASY.
Nice. Everybody tap into Luigi.
I
He
appreciate
has
that, man.
amazing content, amazing advice, and please don't harass him too much because I'm usually all up in his DMs sending pictures and stuff. I swear, it's just random stuff, man. It's like I go to Walmart, I take a
Yeah.
picture. Hey, is this anything? Does this look good? And man, this guy, dude.
And I totally understand that too, because when I started coming back into like a few years back, I'm like, what's all this mean? Like, there's so much happening on that shelf. You see colors, you see boxes, and you don't know what's what. And like not too long ago, I was there and I saw parents trying to buy something, which I'm assuming they were trying to buy for their kid, but you could see the look on their faces, like, I don't know what this is. Like, is this what he wants? And I should have helped him out, but I was in a hurry. But it's that same feeling of being overwhelmed with so much product on the shelf, if there is product on the shelf, that there's like all these different colors and it says Pokemon, but what does it all mean? So I understand how overwhelming that looks, and I got a few products here to show you guys if you wanted to look at those, and I can kind of talk you through what each of those things mean. And I know you wanted to talk about specific cards as well.
Yeah, man. Just everything. You see these celebrities getting into
Yep.
collecting and opening, and going after Pokemon cards. Can you talk a little bit about what that might do to the trend that's going on with them?
Well, we're already kind of in the middle of that. I think Logan Paul was kind of the one that really sparked that, and then a few others started to follow suit. Kind of like Logic was another one, the rapper Logic, a big fan of
Mm,
his, and he started doing it right after Logan Paul. I know Steve Aoki a couple of days ago just opened one up with a few guys on there as well, and I haven't heard anybody else since. But I know Justin Bieber has his own collection, and I honestly think it's just their fandom is going to look at it, and I look at
mm,
it like percentages. Not 100% of their fans are going to do it, but if 30% of their fans do it, that's still a large part of this. Is just a large group of people that's going to come in with more eyes and more money. So that, like, if you want to look at it like financially, is like just more buyers with limited product. So that just means that prices might eventually go up which is weird about new sets, because normally you see about like vintage sets, but it's starting to happen with modern sets right now too. So we got a lot of people coming in trying to just buy product. So prices are just naturally going to start going up right now. I don't know how long that lasts. It just depends on how long people are willing to do it. But I think right now with quarantine, I call it like a chaotic goodness or a chaotic mess, because
Mm.
everyone's just locked down and you either just have no specific hobbies to do right now based off of where you are and what's closed. So it's easy to go to a superstore and see Pokemon cards there and you want to buy them and you buy them. So it's just it's chaotic right now just because of what we're dealing with in the world right now. So it's just blown up. That's all I can say. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if prices are ever going to go down, but it's going up right now, and I don't see it slowing down right now.
Jeez, man. Yeah, no. I've been trying to buy some of these new sets that's coming up on Vivid Voltage. You have
Yep.
to kind of like pre-order now, right, to even get stuff.
Yeah, you gotta know when, like, it's one of those things I tell everybody, like, if you know a Target or a Walmart near you, I usually tend to ask the employees when their vendors come, which is kind of what people are doing now, and they'll go on those days and they'll find out like what time the vendors are coming. Usually they come around like in the morning and then they just drop off. Some places are organized and they do like group meetings, and they'll do like a lottery thing where you put your name in a box and they pick out people, and those people get to attack the shelves essentially. So it depends on your local Target and their like community. But
Mm.
you just gotta. I usually get up early on Thursdays and Fridays and just kind of scope out the local Targets around me.
Man, so I mean, you mentioned before or earlier that you're like you started out with Pokemon.
Hmm.
Like, can you kind of like for someone like me that I saw my little brother, he played
Hmm.
or had the little cards and stuff when he was
Hmm.
younger. Can you kind of explain to our listeners like what is this Pokemon craze that's going on? What is this?
Um, whew. So Pokemon came from Japan back in the mid late 90s, and it started off congruently with a video game and the cards, um, and was quickly followed up by the anime. And those three things in the late 90s and early 2000s was just a big craze. Like TV was really big with kids and cartoons, primetime television. That's when it was on. So I think the thing that Pokemon does really well is their media is video games, TV, and then games, like trading card games. And so those three things match up really well. And it's just essentially just a large Pokemon likes to essentially tell a story of adventures. Like you can go on your adventure and capture these monsters and, battle and interact with people, and you create a sense of community. It's really just like you being involved with the story. So that's why I think the video game and the anime do such a great job for the card collecting hobby. Um, so it's just to explain it simply, it's just a bunch of like mutated creatures that you can either bring in as pets or you can use them in battle in
Mm.
either the card game or in the video game. You can collect different types and stuff. So um it's like an anime. It's just essentially just a big card game that you can take home with
Mm.
the characters that you see on TV. So it's just another form of collecting.
Man, I think you explained that super well.
I tried. I had to make that up on the spot.
That's a huge
It's
question,
it's a
man. You know what I
lot.
mean?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with Pokemon. I mean, it's funny because I was just thinking about like they do such a good job. Like they've grown as a company, and their storytelling is so well done because, like I said, their video games, their anime, their cards, their artwork, all of that kind of goes into a funnel. Like they all interact with each other in such a cool way, and you have to really see it in the cards and in the game, and you're like, oh, this card character, the character that's in this card, he's in the anime and he's also in the video game, and you attach those feelings of, oh, I know that person, or oh, I don't like that character, so you attach that in a card form, and like when you pull it, it's like, yo, it's cool, like I like this character, or I don't like this character. There's an emotional attachment, especially when you when you engulf yourself in all those. So I think the Pokemon Company having different mediums it's a smart move, especially with their movies too.
Dang, that's crazy. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that we have
Yeah.
Dong on here. And
Donga and David, welcome. Hello.
yeah,
No, they're
David
muted.
goes by Will. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Hey,
Coach
how's it
Will
going, man?
Pope.
Hey, how are you? I'm good.
Great. That's good to hear.
Yeah, this is Dong, man. He's the one that showed all of us, got us all into like collecting sports cards, and
Hmm.
just started. He was on our very first show. One of our very first guests that we had way back, maybe a year ago, right,
Hmm.
Dong, or something.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and now we've all been just spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yep, I know. Same, same.
But yeah, Dong got us. His son actually was just, it intrigued me because his son collects Pokemon cards.
Hmm.
And so I've seen ever since, you know, I don't know, you could tell your story, Dong, but
I mean, I just recently got more involved with Pokemon because of Moa. So I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to find out what's good, what's not. I think that's the biggest question for me.
Hmm.
My son has a bunch of older stuff.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of nicks and things on the cards because he actually played the game. So I don't know how valuable they are or worth. They're not worth grading, but I don't know if it's like older vintage basketball and football, like even the older ones, as they're messed up, you can still get them graded. They're still worth something, but
Hmm.
just want to know what we have.
Yeah. And that
yeah,
was another thing too, is a lot of people like me, there was a bunch of people who started with it as a kid, and like we mentioned before with celebrities, they brought that back. And something that they both kept saying was, "Oh, I'm just trying to relive my childhood," and that's a big thing is they see those characters, and it's not just the characters that they see, it's themselves at a younger age that they see, and there's that little kid that they want to attach themselves to. We all have that little kid within us that we try to hold back, but in reality, when you see these cards, you see that little kid in those cards as well, and it just brings back all those memories. Like even the smells and the texture of the card bring back such memories. And I
have
think
they
that's a
evolved?
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it's just all those little things in the cards that they bring back all those like
Yeah,
childhood memories.
for
Have
sure.
they evolved like making the cards? Have they, here's one in my hand.
Yeah.
I won in a Raz. I mean,
So
I like yeah.
So the Pokemon Company at first was not printing their own stuff. It was this company called Wizards of the Coast. Those are the old vintage ones that you see. They make Magic the Gathering, which is another card game.
Okay.
So right now, I believe it is the Pokemon Company, and the Pokemon Company is owned by three companies. They're owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, which makes their video games, which is the president of the company the person who started the company is the person who also started that Game Freak company, because he started Pokemon as a video game first, and then they expanded into cards. So he made that company, and then they sold the company to Pokemon later on. And then they also created this other company called Creatures Inc., and they're the ones I believe who are printing the cards themselves. So them along with Nintendo are in charge of printing the cards right now.
That's wild. And it's a company from Japan.
Yeah, they're all set in Japan.
That's crazy.
And then
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Tony.
Oh, just quick question for you. Since we're talking about like the manufacturing of cars and whatnot,
Mm.
I actually asked Notice a question a couple days ago. I ran into some 2000 Tops Chrome Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about that by chance?
I know very little of those. I have one, and it was funny. Today we were just looking through some boxes, and my girlfriend just showed me some of hers, and she had the same Topps Chromes ones, but nothing of value from what I've seen. They're all a little
Okay.
scratched up, but those are also valuable as well. It's really the artwork as well. Some people are after
Okay.
a certain style of artwork. Just like me, I like the very, like, they call it manga or Japanese comic book style. I like that style of artwork. So anything that has that type of style artwork is something that I look for in my own personal collection.
Oh, okay.
But the top stuff is also valuable. It's probably not as sought after because some people don't know about it. But if you find certain collectors, they will buy that, and especially if it's in good condition as well, and with certain characters.
Yeah, the dude that was he had posted some of his Topps Chrome hits, and they look like they have like different parallels, like a different foil coating.
Yeah.
For like the same card, which is kind of like sports cards, right? But what was I going to say? He also has sealed packs too, and he was asking me about it, and I was like, man, I have no idea. But just from basketball aspect, I know if it's older and it's still sealed, it might be worth some. So I just told him, man, if you want to get rid of it, I'm definitely a buyer.
Yeah.
So I don't know how valuable sealed stuff is compared to
in that generation right now, it's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wouldn't be able to put a number on it because just it's numbers right now are just always changing. I'm always stocking prices, and it's always amazing to see how fast the numbers go up. So I would definitely look at like eBay sold listings and stuff like that for that same product.
Okay.
But yeah, when it came to like base set, like the very old packaged ones of Pokemon from the Wizards of the Coast, base set's the first ones that came out with from Wizards of the Coast. I don't have a pack of that, unfortunately, but probably at the beginning of quarantine, I want to say one of those was selling around an average of like, I'm probably going to mess up this number, is around 200 for an unweighed pack or a light pack. No, that's probably high. I want to say that was probably for a heavy pack. Just one pack was around $200. Now a pack of that size, like that heavy, which is a heavy pack, just means that you'll get like a good card. Now they're selling easily for over $500 or even more. So yeah, and that's not even first edition either. Like the price is just skyrocketing because now more and more, like I was saying earlier, more and more people are involved. So there's more bidders on the market, which is just hiking up the prices. And the more people open them up, the more valuable sealed product goes.
That makes sense.
So if more people are opening up tops, that means that tops might eventually, if it's sealed, might go up as well.
Also, if I had a chance to buy it at a decent price, just buy it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you can get it for a fair price, and if you know the guy, yeah, definitely pick it up. Because I was even thinking about buying some of like there's a movie card set as well that I was considering buying, and it was
the live action stuff.
It was the older one, so the first movie that came out for Pokemon. I guess they Topps had another set like that as well for the Pokemon movie. I was considering buying that as well. I don't know what the price is at now, but I'm pretty sure it's gone up since I've last looked at it.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'll show you one that I just got. It was the Pokemon Center, which is the Pokemon company's website. They had a promo not too long ago. They gave out this card, right, which is a Pikachu, right, and it looks like I call it the Postal Service Pikachu because he looks like he's got like a little carrier. Yeah. So they gave out this card if you spent $20, right? You spent $20, this was free in your cart, and it sold out within a day. And I looked maybe a few days afterwards on the eBay. People didn't even have it in their hand, and they were selling pre-orders of it at around $40. So if you bought $20 of product, that was basically already paid. That paid off whatever you bought. And now that card is selling for $100. So
the free promo card was worth more than the card that you actually bought.
Probably, yeah. You could have bought Pokemon cards and got it for free if you bought this and sold it. So I actually have 2 more of these coming in too, and I'm considering selling one just to pay off what I bought and getting the other graded. And
That's wild.
And they have a Charizard, which I'm sure you guys know of that character. They have a Charizard one coming out soon. My prediction is they give out that promo around Black Friday, and it's probably going to be a lot more. I feel like if that would be the smart move for Pokemon is to have that deal on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and say, all right, you have to spend at least $40 to $100 to get this card. Because if they do that, I anticipate they'll make a lot of sales.
Man,
And I can imagine that card's going to be at least $100 right off the bat. Because Charizard is just that one character that everyone grew up wanting. You know, the original vintage base set, everybody wanted that Charizard. You know, I never had one as a kid. So right before lockdown, I was like, you know what? I'll buy one. It was a little much at the time for me to spend. It was $100 on one card. I was like, ooh, that's a lot. Condition was okay. It wasn't pristine 10 or whatever, but I bought it for $110, tax and shipping, right? Now, at the average price of that card can easily go close to $500. So, yeah.
Why is the Charizard? Why is he so good?
The way I explain it, because you know, Charizard is the character that's right behind you on your background. He's he looks like a dragon, but it's funny because he's not a dragon, according to the Pokemon Company. He's considered a lizard with wings, but basically a flying fire Pokemon, which is it makes me laugh. But basically, as a kid, my favorite was Charmander, which is what Charizard comes from. You know, they have like the smalls, and then they get bigger. So Charmander was a little small version of Charizard. So you get to choose between 3 Pokemon at the very beginning of your Pokemon journey. You get to choose Squirtle, which is the blue turtle, Charmander, which is the little lizard, and then you get the Bulbasaur, which is the little green frog. Those are your 3 choices, and they all evolve into something else. And everyone, or most people, wanted that Charizard. So, like me, I had wanted that Charmander at the beginning, so that way I can eventually have that Charizard. And there's a debate on which one was the strongest, and everybody chooses Bulbasaur apparently because statistically he's the strongest. But everybody wanted Charizard just because he looked cool. Like, it was the easiest way you can get a Charizard, like a dragon, I say it in quotes, a dragon as fast as you can if you evolved your Charmander. So me personally, when I played the game, I thought Charizard just looked cool. He had that really cool dragon aesthetic, and that was the reason I chose it. Especially in the anime, he was portrayed as like the badass. Like, I'm also a Ninja Turtle fan, and Raphael was my favorite character because he had that rude and cool style. Like, he was the cool guy. That's what Charizard was kind of like in the show. He was the I don't care what you say kind of Pokemon, but he was a strong Pokemon. And I think people gravitated towards that. And his card looks cool. You know, it's a timeless piece. I like to say Pokemon, like the Charizard, is like the 90s or millennials version of the Mona Lisa. Like, you look at that card and it brings back memories and feelings for a lot of kids in the 90s, regardless if you liked Pokemon or not. Like, my girlfriend doesn't really care too much about Pokemon, but she had a Pokemon collection. And I know of a lot of people who don't care about Pokemon as much now, but they had a collection. And everybody knows what the Charizard was. Shit. So if you had a Charizard as a kid, you were the cool kid.
And it's crazy. This Pokemon, it hasn't even been around, not even 30 years yet.
Yeah.
Right? How long have they been around? Some
24 years or something like that. 24, 25. 25 is their next anniversary.
So that's going to be a big thing, right?
Yeah. I think we've got the anniversary. It's projected that the set Shiny Star V is supposed to be the 25th anniversary set. We don't know what the American name is going to be, but that's what it's called in Japan right now, and it just got released. And they got like a bunch of nice cards in there. It's supposed to be the biggest set they've had, with over 300 cards in that set. So it's going to be a big set to not only buy, but to collect. Like, it's going to be a very difficult set to complete.
Yeah, I want to say the first set I bought for my son was like, it was it came with 3, like, it looked like an Elite Trainer box, but it was an anniversary edition. It was like all white with the Pikachu, and like one box was orange for Charizard, one was green for whatever, Venus, whatever, and then the Blastoise one. But yeah, we were just going through some stuff, and he's like, "Dad, remember I have this?" We're just going through it. I was like, "Dang, I didn't even know." And I was showing these guys. So I know those anniversary ones are probably going to be a big deal to pick up and just hold forever.
Yeah.
Sealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I would project it, yeah. It just depends on how people react to it and how much product there is. It's supposed to come out in February. So it all depends. Like I heard from someone that the printing company, suffered hard at the beginning of quarantine. They had to stop their presses, and so a lot of the product that we're getting is just whatever they printed, and they're just trying to
Oh
push whatever
wow!
they have.
So it's like
Now I'm
short
pretty sure.
printed.
Yeah, now I'm assuming they're a lot better. But it depends on where they're being printed. I believe headquarters is in I want to say it's Washington State, but I don't know exactly where they're printing from. So wherever that printing shop is, it's probably, depending on how many people they have in the shop, going slower than normal. So that's why you see stuff fly. Not like that's why I said it was like chaotic mess right now. Is you have a lot of newer buyers coming back into the hobby versus a smaller supply because they're probably not having as many people print right now. So there's a lot. There's just a lot of chaos right now. So I'm assuming that after everything opens back up and we start to get to normal working conditions, I feel like that there will be more product on the shelves. I just don't know if the demand is going to go down with it.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have any other questions?
No, that was it. Just like the main question was just the Topps Chrome, and he answered that. I appreciate you answering that, man.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
What do you got there to show and tell?
So I bought this as well. I mainly bought it because, again, my favorite character is right here, Charmander. But I try to find stuff that's also from around that year of the late 90s. And this came out in the 98. So this was kind of like that the box that you would get cards in as well. So I bought it because, one, it looked nice, and two, it had my favorite character on it. So this is actually where I keep like the potential grading cards that I want to get graded. It's mostly Pokemon, but I have some sports cards, and I usually dabble in like UFC stuff. If you guys can see that. That's a Brian Ortega signed card.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I think the only other sport card I really know, or the sports, I guess sports cards that I really get into is the UFC and MMA. So that's the only really other sport that I know of. So I know, like I was mentioning earlier, this sport is the sport that I know of the up and comers and who's good and who's not. Base set. This was not the base set, but this is the reprinted modern version of base set. So it looks similar to what the older packs look like, but this was printed in 2016, I believe. And this set just got discontinued. Like they're not printing this anymore. And with Logan Paul and Logic opening up their like old stuff, everybody wants this set because it looks like that set. So that's why I said chaotic. This is just chaos right now because they just announced that this was out of print. So these are going to be limited as well. So I'm also sending these to get graded as well, just to have packs graded and sealed. I'll show you some of the vintage stuff that I do have.
I was showing these guys too. There was a guy on Facebook selling from the Fossil set.
Yeah,
I think it's called Fossil.
Yeah,
but it was just empty wrappers for like $30. Wrappers.
Yeah. People buy the wrappers just for the looks of it. Like there's a box I have that I like. It was funny because at the beginning of quarantine, I knew people were gonna be like hungry for money, and I didn't want to lowball my friends. So I asked like, "Hey, and you guys got Pokemon cards?" And this was before like the big hype. I was like, "And you guys got Pokemon cards you want to sell? Like, I'll buy them. I'll give you a decent price." And my friend showed me like some of the big hits that he had, and all the little stuff and like in that is what I also got, and I actually got more excited about. Like he gave me like a old school looking box, other cards that I didn't even see and think were gonna sell well, and like I was just surprised. But some of these cards, like this is that Red Cheeks Pikachu you hear about, right there. It's shadowless as well. It's not first edition, but that one came from that set. I'll show you some other ones. This is the Cool Kids card right there. That's the Mona Lisa, the Charizard, another one. And this is another Shadowless Blastoise right there. So these are all cards that I do want to get graded. I have some of the newer ones as well. Like I would say, Tonga, ask your son, because how old is your son?
10.
10? Okay. That's like the perfect range, because something that I do as well is I look for characters that kids like right now. So that way in like 10 years, when kids get back into it, like they're going to want to look for the more modern sets as well. There's
Dang.
a character because
My
like I
son
said,
hoards Greninja.
I
He's
was
got like
just about to say that,
50
bro.
Greninjas, bro.
I was just about to say that. So at the very beginning of the year, right before quarantine, all right, Pokemon Company asked all of their fans in a survey, all right, we want you to vote on who your favorite Pokemon was, right? And
So,
the winning Pokemon was Greninja, not
I
Charizard.
kid you not, bro. He has tons of Greninja.
So the Greninja's one that I'm sending in to get graded because I know Greninja's just going to go up in many years. Like I have at least 2 right here, and I have others in my folders as well. So
He even
Greninja's
has
one.
fake Greninja cards, man. The
Oh, he has
Ashes
fake ones.
Greninja. The Ashes Greninja one, he has
Yeah.
that and all these other fake ones.
What is
But
But
what
I
is
mean,
Great
he
Ninja?
loves it because that's his Greninja's his guy. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing is that's why I was saying earlier is like the anime does a really good job of pushing certain Pokemon out, and like each year they have a big Pokemon that they focus on, and Greninja was part of like one of the biggest and most popular seasons so far, and I think Greninja is going to be bigger than Charizard in the next 10 years, just simply
Yeah,
because
that's all you got to say.
yeah. I mean that's my guess. I could be wrong, but when I bought a PSA 10 Greninja from this particular set, this one I bought it at 150, and this is from Hidden Fates, which is a very sought after set right now. The last one I saw sold was $300. So it depends. Like Greninja's one that I'm putting in a decent amount, but not like the absolute most because I know that's a long game. So Greninja is the card that I think is going to like is the underdog, is the one that everyone's sleeping on is Greninja. Everyone wants the Charizard because they know it's like the hot thing, but I think the Greninja is the one that everyone sleeps on. And I saw that and I was surprised. I'll go over the numbers too of who got voted in, but I was surprised when I saw that Greninja was number one. But it makes sense when you look at like what kids are looking at right now. I think if we want to talk about like the fans that are into Pokemon right now, it's mainly the smaller kids. Like Pokemon is smart when they I don't want to say they attack, but they target young kids because as you get older, you still want to stick around with it, and it becomes like that nostalgic feeling. So that's why I wanted to ask you who your son's favorite was, and I'm kind of glad that he said Greninja.
Jeez.
But I mean, like I was gonna mention this too, is that I think video games and watching like what Pokemon pushes out for video games is also a smart move. Because something I learned in, I think it was a sociology class or something like that, but oh no, I took this from a movie. Back to the Future. We all saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a scene in that movie where I forget the main character's name is, but he was talking to his past self and his past family, and they were talking about how he had a TV in every room, right? And they thought that was so crazy. Like, who can afford a TV in every room? And I think back in my life, I was like, consoles, like gaming consoles, you maybe had one, maybe two as a kid, and you were like the hot shot. I had barely, like I said earlier, like I didn't have a Game Boy, and I had to go to my cousin's house to play a Game Boy. But now everybody has a phone. Everybody's got multiple game consoles, and video games are the next TV where everyone's playing video games. And that's why I said Pokemon Company's smart because they're constantly pushing out video games on console, on mobile, and any other type of way, like PC. Like they push out their mediums so much, and they're just constantly make. And like I said, like kids are gonna keep playing it, and they're gonna keep doing it, and it's gonna be a part of their everyday. So if you can figure out what your kid's favorite Pokemon is, you can eventually invest in that Pokemon, and 10 maybe 15 years later that might actually be like the next big character.
Oh, that's sick.
Well,
I mean,
dog's
and
not
just
happy.
and I just remember that mobile app game where
Mhm.
everyone was playing Pokemon Go, right?
Yep, I still got it.
And yeah, I just re-downloaded it, but
Yeah,
you go out and people were all over the place. How
exactly.
long ago was that?
That was right around when right after I got back into Pokemon cards. I believe it was 2016.
Man,
Yep. So as long as they keep innovating and finding more and more ways to stay relevant, I think this company is going to stay strong.
dang. Are they a publicly traded company where you can like buy stocks in them?
No, the only way you can is if you buy a Nintendo, and that's what I've done.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you buy Nintendo, then that's the only way you can. Because Nintendo, like I said earlier, Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. are the three companies that own Pokemon.
Man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So if you buy Nintendo, you basically own the Switch, which is the hottest selling console right now. If you think about it, you could take the Switch anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take an Xbox or a PlayStation. I know everybody wants a PlayStation 5, but you can't take that anywhere. So that's why I said like Pokemon Company is a smart company.
And just reinventing. We had a bunch of questions that we had for you that we wanted to go. I think, but you basically hit all of them.
Yeah, and I can keep going on like this. All of this goes in my head.
One other question.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, one of the questions was, should we share or should we hoard? Should we hoard the?
That's a very like hot topic, and it's something that's been eating at me lately in the past week or two. And I do TikToks, and one of my biggest TikTok lately videos is with product being scarce right now and shelves just being empty as soon as you see them, like whatever is on there. Should stores have purchasing limits? And what's the proper limit? I've already seen some stores saying, all right, you can't buy more than 2 Pokemon products. Now, product is very vague. Does that mean just 2 booster packs? Does that mean just 2 trainer boxes? Like, what does that mean? And especially with Pokemon, if you're trying to pull one specific card and flip it, you have to buy more, right? You have to keep opening it up and buying more so that way you have bigger chances, because unfortunately it's a gamble. The more chances you have, the more opportunities you have to pull that specific card, or even multiple times. So it depends. I don't buy all. That's my rule, is I don't buy the entire lot. I buy a chunk and then leave enough for everybody else. When Vivid Voltage was released, if there was only one left, I'd buy out the one, obviously, because it's just the one. I can't split that. But I tried to buy a few. When it came to booster packs, I bought 8, which is the same amount as a trainer box. So I looked at the rest of them, and there was still plenty left. And it was funny because I went back the next day to see if there was any left, and everything was gone. So it depends, I guess it depends on your moral conscience. So I'm on the side of at least not buying the entire lot. I'm for at least buying 5. Like that's fair. Buy 5. And and I know one of the questions is wholesale. I wish I knew how to buy them wholesale, but the only way that I can think of, from what I hear from like the big like content creators, is they go through distributors. So I think you would have to develop a relationship with a distributor. But that's the only way that I know of. Unless you can make a deal with like your local shops, like small card shops, but I don't even know if they can do that, because I know I've talked to my local card shop guy, and he says that I can order as much as I want, but I won't get it because they don't have that much right now, and they don't know when they're getting it. So it's like I said, it's just they don't, with how backed up and how limited they are, they don't know how much they can actually distribute out into whatever sector that is. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm one, because I don't know if you can see this little corner over here. There's boxes of stuff that I've purchased. Some of it has been in stores, and some of it has been through third parties, and some of it I want to hold for a very long time, and some of it I'm just going to flip. So it depends. I'm not against flipping. It's just part of the world, supply and demand, so it depends. I guess that's to each their own. I went to there's a local, I want to say like a collector's mart here, and it goes on every Wednesday and Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's called Frankensons. I went with my girlfriend not too long ago, and I was at a vendor, a little stand of Pokemon stuff, and I was making my purchase, and this dude next to me just drops a wad of cash. I'm not kidding. It was this fat of a roll. Starts rolling out hundreds, and he was talking to the guy. He's like, "Hey, you got this specific box?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he had like a big box. He's like, "How much you want?" He's like, "Give me all of it." And he just dropped hundreds on the desk, and I'm like, "Wow." And then he had a buddy with him who had another box just as big, and they were coming from a different stand of the same box. So it depends on like your budget and how much you're willing to spend, but like I said, I think it's a moral choice.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
People are getting into it. I'm like, I'm slowly, because Donut got me into cars, sports cars, basketball, and football. But man, I'm slowly trickling over to the Pokemon world, trying to learn more about it. And these guys, I said it earlier in the show, but every time Donga or Coach Will or Tech, I don't know if you guys, every time you guys ask me a question, I screenshot it and I send it to this guy. Every single question, like all the pause, pulls, dude. Luigi has been my secret weapon ever since I started going into Pokemon.
Yeah.
So shout out to Gary V for holding that Zoom call.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luigi for even like letting me harass him all up in the DM. It's wild. Yeah, no. Every time you guys ask me a question, I screenshot it and I send it to him on Twitter.
And who pulled that? What card was it? The shiny Charizard? Who pulled that? The one you sent me. Paul? Yeah.
Paul, yeah.
Lucky guy. That's a very hot card right now.
Yeah, and then like speaking of cars, like who do you say would be the best place to go to like grade your cars? Once you're investing in these. Where would you go?
I would like to say PSA, but I know they're backed up right now. I sent my last batch. What was it? Maybe second week or first week of October. It got there within a few days, but I think it was a few days ago I just got notified that it's in the process of being graded. So from what it was funny.
Stage 4.
Yeah, I think it was 3 or 4, one of the stages. But before quarantine, I had sent some cards in, and it was a live event here in Long Beach. It was one that you can just drop off your cards, and they take it. You can either choose to get it like next day, which is going to cost more, or you can just have them send it there, and then they'll ship it to you. It was in early February when I dropped those off, and I got them back in May. And some of the stuff that I heard in line, it was in February, they were already backed up by like 1 million. So they've been backed up for quite a while. And then with COVID, it's just backed it up even more. And now people are sending them in even more. So I don't know. I've heard that they were recently hiring like a month or two ago. So they might have more people in there, but I don't know if that's sped up their process. But I did hear that they have robotics and AI now getting involved. So I don't know if that's sped up the process. Like there's a scanner that's supposedly help scan cards now. And I had been waiting for that because I thought about that. I was like, when is that going to be a thing with the way, technology is moving? The moment we get into robots, speeding up the process and really seeing, oh, wait, okay, is this a 10? Can we analyze the card even closer? Can we get up like this close and see if there's any scratches and stuff? So I don't know if that either hurts the hobby or makes it better. I don't know how many. Like, I don't know. I still have to look into if they're actually doing that now. I just heard that they were announcing it. So PSA is backed up. It's kind of like the most trusted one. Beckett is another one. I haven't looked at Beckett yet, but I've been wanting to. I don't know if they're backed up, to be honest. And I heard CGC is another one that's coming up as well. So those are the main three. PSA obviously number one in my like I said, I've heard Gary say this, and I think it is true because I've heard. I spend a lot of time on forums, so I kind of look. I don't really comment because I want to see what people are saying. A lot of them are kind of in between. A lot of people say BGS. A lot of people say, a lot of people say Beckett. A lot of people say PSA. So it depends on what style you like. Do you like the white,
the red and white, or the
red and white, or the
yeah,
exactly. Like, if that's your thing, then I like Beckett, to be honest. Not because of the label, because they tell you how it's being graded. Like, they will show you the gradings on cornering, centering, and all those things. I think that's cool. But I also like the simplicity of a PSA grading as well. Like, it just says a 9 or a 10. Like, cool. That looks nice. You know? So it really depends.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
And then like, there are so many different characters in Pokemon. Like, how would you suggest for someone, just listening to this, trying to learn about Pokemon, what would you suggest for them to get started in understanding the Pokemon world?
There's many different ways. If you want to know the big names, it was something I was going to mention earlier. The top 10 that were voted, you can definitely look at that. Just Google up Pokemon top 10, and they'll show you the results. But I'll say them. Number 1 was Greninja. Number 2 was Lucario. 3 was Mimikyu, and you're probably not going to know who I'm talking about. But 4 was Charizard. Damn, I don't remember the rest. But essentially, it really depends on the year that you were born, in my opinion, from what I've been looking at and the studying that I did on it. There were only 2 of the first generation of Pokemon. Only 2 of them out of the 150 made it in that top 10, and it was Charizard and Gengar. So it was a dragon and a ghost. And in my personal opinion, from what I've observed, people like the ones that look like pets the most. And I think the Pokemon company is smart because most of them tend to look like pets. Like, they look like they have a lot of dog ones. They have a lot of cat ones. They have other little small animals and stuff. But if you want to learn and know more about each particular one, I would say get involved in either watching the shows. You don't have to. I mean, I would say try to watch them in order as best you can. You can get involved in collecting, try to memorize it. Google searching like all Pokemon. I know that there's a YouTube video that shows all of them, and it takes about like 30 minutes. That's how many there are. I would say just try to get involved in the 3 mediums: video games, anime, and then collecting cards. Start that way. Just research, do those 3 things as best you can. A little bit here, a little bit there. I think video games, for me at least, is the best way how I learn them, because I'm quickly growing fond of the newer characters just by playing the game. Yeah.
That's solid advice, man. And some of these cards, they come with like these green codes and white codes.
Yeah.
What is that? So, those are used for the gameplay, right?
Yeah. So I have a few right here. So these right here, when you open up a pack, when you get one of these, this usually means good. And what I mean by that is these actually serve another purpose. People used to weigh them, right? People used to weigh packs back in the day to see which one was heavy or which one was light. And the heavier one would mean that you would get a good card. That means like the foil card they thought was heavier. So when you look on eBay and you see like old vintage packs, some of them will say heavy, because that means that you're more than likely to get a really nice card. So the way that the Pokemon company tried to combat people weighing packs and just leaving all the crap packs there was they made these cards. Now, the thing you probably don't notice is the white card is far more flexible and lighter than the green card. They weigh slightly different. And I don't understand the math because I tried doing it myself. But apparently this is supposed to combat people weighing the packs. So when you get a white code card, that means you get a nicer card because it's lighter. And I guess cancels out the other extra weight versus this card, which weighs the same as every other card. And it usually means that you're not going to get a good card. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it for every single set, because there are a few sets where you can get nice cards with a green code. Cosmic Eclipse is one of them, which is one of my favorites. And then Vivid Voltage. You can get one of my new favorites, these new amazing rares, right? That new art style that's coming out right now. If you get one of these green cards, you can still pull one of these.
Jeez.
And that's how I got 2 of them. So if you see green now with the Vivid Voltage, don't get disappointed, because you can still pull some heat. But this is usually like the nicer cards. Like with this, you'll pull something like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you'll more than likely pull one of those. So those also serve another purpose of the game, like you were saying, the online game. There is a free version, which is something I was going to say. With sports cards, you know who a hot card is just based off of the athlete and how they play, right? I don't know which particular sports cards that you guys are after. When I watch fighters, I know a good fighter when I see one. They have particular styles and they do well and they have a good long career. So that's how I know, all right, I want to buy this card. And then I don't know, with different prisms and refactors, I don't know which one's worth more. You guys might know more than that than me. But damn it, where was I going with this? I completely forgot where I was going with this.
Are you fine?
Damn it, I forgot. Oh, but my suggestion, I do remember now. My suggestion to people is to download the game if they really, really want to know. If you're going to start pulling cards, in my opinion, I would say play the game for free. It's super simple to play, in my opinion. It's no harder than poker, if you know how to play poker, or Uno. Play the game because there's a lot of cards that people look over. I was just looking through my bulk. If you're trying to sell off your bulk, people who play this game, like the real card game, they want trainer cards, and people sleep on trainer cards. You can buy, if you have a bunch of trainer cards sitting around, those are more likely to sell than something like this, which is just a basic Pokemon. There's nothing fancy about it, and most people wouldn't want this. But the trainer cards, when you play the game, the trainer cards take up almost more than 50% of the deck. So those are what players are going to look after. So the reason I said play the game is that way you understand what people are after when it comes to collecting. Because gamers play the game as well. Gamers play with physical cards. So you're not just selling to collectors, you're selling to gamers as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a free game, just like Pokemon Go, right? It's Pokemon trading card game online, and it's totally free. It's super simple to play. They teach you how to play. That's just another piece of advice I would say, is just get involved in that world as well if you're trying to open up packs and sell them. Because a Marnie card right now is super hot in the game, and people will buy that, and that's like a $5 card. That's worth the price of a pack, essentially. But most people probably would look at that and oh, that's nothing, I'm going to throw that away. No, that's a good card, especially if you have the full art card, which is now at $40 now. And prices are just going up. It's not just the characters. Sometimes it's the people characters as well. So that's why I was saying oh, I see this character on a card, people want that card. So that's another way you can get involved, and that's what those codes are for. You get this code that comes in So this code, you guys can use it for free. I don't know. Do you guys put the video up anywhere?
Yeah, we'll put it up on YouTube.
So this is a free code for any of your fans there. You can use that code. Whoever gets it first, you plug in that code into the game and you get a free pack of, what is this? Burning Shadows. You get Burning Shadows deck. You get to open it up, right? And you can use that to build decks or whatever, or trade for whatever deck. But that's what those code cards are.
Nice, man. Jeez. Once again, you're tuned in, and we're here with Luisi. Just again, can you tell us, our listeners, our viewers, how they can get a hold of you, how they can follow you?
Yeah. So my handle is LOO_EASY. I am on Twitter, Twitch. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm also on YouTube. I will try to do a video every week. I'm going to try to release it every Friday. I'm on TikTok. I am on, what are the platforms? Look at my phone. Oh, my God.
Twitter,
yeah. I do have a podcast as well. If you guys are okay with me plugging that.
Yeah, plug it,
it's
man.
Pokemon Cards and Coffee. I do have like an hour long one where that goes over the basics of Pokemon and explains some of the older sets and how Pokemon makes their cards. We can talk about that too right here. What else?
Shoot.
That and Instagram as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be faster on Twitter. Notis knows.
Yeah.
But Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the major ones, it's always the same handle, LOO_EASY.
Awesome, man. We'll be sure to follow you on all those platforms as well.
Appreciate
and we'll follow you up on Instagram and post this on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like I could just stay here forever and just talk about this. Because I want to know, man. Like,
yeah.
I love the artwork. First of all, I love the artwork on the cars. They look beautiful, man. And like the hologram sheen or the and another thing I like him because Charizard for instance, he can't pull an ACL or tear ACL
Exactly.
or something like that, and it's just wild. No, for real. I'm like,
That's
I started off with Donga getting into basketball, and still those are beautiful cars too. But man, it's just the artwork and the names are just funky too. So that's like who names these things anyways, Louisa?
It's the Pokemon Company. It's funny. I have a story on names and stuff from Pokemon, but it's first obviously named in Japan. They have a Japanese name which doesn't directly translate into English. Some of them do and some of them don't. But a funny story on one of them, Kadabra. I actually do have a picture of one on here. Kadabra cannot be used anymore in any of its platforms, I believe, simply because of its Japanese name. This is a fun story for you guys as listeners. Kadabra right here cannot be used in any of the card games or any of the animes anymore because in Japanese, I believe his name is Hungeru, which in Japanese is another way of saying damn it, what's his name? Well, I don't remember his name exactly. I could look it up right now, but they named that line of evolutions after famous magicians. So Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam. It's like a magical kind of theme. Kadabra is the middle one. In Japanese, all three of them are named after different magicians. Hungeru was one of them. Houdini was another one. And then there was another one that I don't remember as well. Two of them are dead. The one that's alive is that Hungeru guy who essentially sued the company back, I want to say 15 years ago, because people in Japan, anytime he visited in Japan, would show him a card of a Kadabra and say, that's you. And so he felt like he was being harassed and used for his likeness. And so therefore he sued the company for using his likeness because he also uses spoons just like the character. And So he sued the company, and I don't believe he won the case, but there was a settlement outside the case. So they're not allowed to use that character at all until, I'm guessing, until he dies. So you won't be seeing that card ever again. And I particularly bought that one because that's the last time the Pokemon Company made a Kadabra. So there's value in my opinion. There's value in that card.
Note to self:
Yes,
buy as many Kadabras as possible.
exactly. And that one's kind of hard to find too. It was a reverse hollow. I know you wanted to figure out what reverse hollows were, but that one was a reverse hollow, and I think that's the only type of hollow you can get of that card. Right?
Dang,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
And
wow.
this particular like look of the card has a purpose. There was a Game Boy game, believe it or not, that tried to swipe these on like a little extension. And that's why this is just a little barcode essentially. And you were able to use this Pokemon and its card in the game. But most people, it didn't sell very well at the time. But that's what this art style of the card is for. It's not just an aesthetic. It had a purpose of swiping the card into a reader. And this is called the E series. So you'll see like that little symbol right there. It looks like a Pokeball, but it's actually an E. So that was that particular art style of that era. And I believe that was like 2002, 2003. But I think that's going to be another set that people are going to start looking for, is that E series.
Wow. That's amazing, man. Shoot. Oh, man. I mean, we could go on and on and on.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
So I guess the way that I can explain sets and the way sets work.
Please.
So do you guys know like Harry Potter, right? You don't have to know everything about it, but Harry Potter had like a movie every year, right? Kind of like Avengers and Marvel and all that, right? So the way Pokemon, it didn't start this way at first, but I started noticing it and they started like fixing it this way more recently. But Harry Potter has one movie and that movie goes over 1 year, right? And it's Harry Potter. The story, every single movie is about Harry Potter and that character, right? And each movie is a different like year and has a different story each year. Now it goes over the same thing of Harry Potter, but we'll replace Harry Potter with Pokemon. So every like major year, which really in Pokemon is going to be around like 3 years, right? They go over like a major storyline, right? For the classics, it didn't really work out that way because I don't think that's what they were going for. So this is more of the modern style, but the current story that's being told right now is called Sword and Shield, right? And this is where I was saying earlier, Sword and Shield is a video game that's out right now that you can play on the Switch, right? And it's the same artwork and the same characters that are in Sword and Shield are in the cards as well. So each expansion, which means just like a chapter in a book. So the book right now is Sword and Shield, right? And each chapter is an expansion on that book, right? So the current chapter we are on right now is Vivid Voltage. The last chapter was Champion's Path. And then the one after that was Darkness Ablaze. All those expansions are a part of that main storyline, which is Sword and Shield. So if you play the video game, you've got an eye on which characters and which Pokemon are going to be in that as far as the art style. So if you open up packs, you're like, oh, yeah, I noticed this character is from this video game, or that person is from that video game. So that's how it works now. Like the last one was Sun and Moon, right? And they had the Sun and Moon series. The one before that, I believe, damn it, I don't remember. I think it was Black and White. But they have that like yin and yang aspect to their storylines. But that's the current storyline. So they work off of a main series, and it usually runs about 2 years. And this goes back to the card game, which they have different formats. The most recent format, which basically means that you can only use cards from the last 2 years, or sorry, the last year, which is called standard, right? And that's why certain cards are, when they're new, sell well, because people want to play in the actual tournaments with the most modern cards. You can play the older style cards, but there's not as many of those players anymore because those cards are illegal in the standard format, if that makes sense. Right?
I got you. Yep.
So that usually runs about a year long, and older sets get cycled out. So right now, you still have the Sword and Shield is still a hot set. Now, not every single card's going to sell for like $5, but the big cards, like certain sets, like this last set, older cards from the same book, I'm going to say. So stuff from like Sword and Shield base can still rise up because now people want this set because this set just came out and the cards can be utilized very well with each other in a game.
I see.
So like if you watch sports and like you watch like LeBron play on the court and you see LeBron's playing a good game and his season does well, you can see that in the playing format, right? You can look at tournaments and you're like, oh, yo, a lot of people are using this card now. Like buy that card now and start selling it, especially with some of the older cards. So that's kind of how you can do research as well, just watching people play the game. Now, that's my only criticism about Pokemon is when they show real life tournaments, which they do, it moves pretty fast. So if you're trying to slow that down, I would say play it yourself first, or at least like just pause and then try to figure it out. But I would still say play it at a very basic level and then try to watch tournaments later on.
I see, because those elite trainer boxes, that's a whole game set, right?
So the way the elite trainer boxes work, that's like, in my opinion, the biggest bang for your buck is if you want to make your own deck, you can start off with that. So you buy one, it comes with sleeves, it comes with dice and everything. So that's the way to start your own pack, like your own deck. So you have enough to build something off of, but it's not like after that deck or after opening that box, you're not going to have like the best set. So that's why buying more elite trainer boxes is the best deal. But that's why, in my opinion, if you're starting off, it's always best, in my opinion, to buy one of those elite trainer boxes, because I love these sleeves when like buying and selling, because they fit in there the best. If you get penny sleeves, they kind of slip out, but these, they sit in there nice. And I also like some of the artwork that comes on it too. So it's kind of an added bonus.
Right on, man. Jeez. Well, you explained that super well and thorough, man. Appreciate that.
And I go into it more on that podcast too, but I that's the best way that I can think of it.
Nice. We have Joe. Joe just joined us. He's the Zoom user right now. Joe, can you have any questions for Luis here about Pokemon? Can you hear us? Or type it out in the chat room.
What up, Joe?
So we have Coach Will, Joe, and Tonga here. Coach, do you have any questions for Luisi?
Hey, thanks for all your input, man. Because, all our questions go straight to Notis, and then I guess it travels to you and back to us again.
Yep.
So we appreciate your knowledge. And so my question for you, after hearing about this world of gaming, so do you recommend that we start purchasing the Nintendo game and start to understand the characters? That's my first question. My second question is, if these new boxes that are basically hot right now and everyone's purchasing them, in about 5 years, are these boxes still going to be hot?
I would say when it comes to Pokemon, you can't necessarily treat it like sports cards. I would say it's a completely different world of culture. The thing that I like about Pokemon is there's different types of buyers. So like I mentioned before, you have collectors who just collect, and then you got gamers as well. And then the beautiful thing about it is it's not just a bunch of guys. There's also girls involved as well, which means more buyers. And again, I think that's a big topic no one talks about. Is I don't know how many of you guys know girls who collect sports cards, but I know a bunch of girls who collect Pokemon cards. And they love characters as well. And I think Pokemon also writes well for girls as like girl characters as well. So I would say get involved with the culture, and because Pokemon is so very heavily game involved, I would say also get into gaming as well. Now, you don't have to be like hardcore into the game as well. Like just kind of just start and understand certain characters and story. I think story is a big thing as well. Like, let's say if you wanted to, like, I'll bring in Harry Potter again. If you wanted to buy and sell Harry Potter stuff, you can't just buy Harry Potter and expect it to sell. You know, there are other characters in the Harry Potter world that also sell well. And also people don't, when you first look at Harry Potter, probably don't think, oh, this character doesn't look like a cool character, but in the storyline, he had a very pivotal part in the story. And like that character touched me in a way that I didn't think I could be touched. And therefore, people want that character a lot more than the main character, if that makes sense. Like me personally, I'm not the biggest Ash Ketchum fan. Like I don't like Ash Ketchum personally. I like other characters behind Ash Ketchum in the show. So for me, if I get an Ash Ketchum card, I'm not like super excited about it. But if I get other characters that are involved around Ash Ketchum, I'm like, yo, that's cool. I like that character. So I would say you can either play the game or watch. There's a Netflix show called Journeys. That's another good show that also goes over the same storyline that's very similar. There's newer characters that aren't in the game, but you can also watch TV shows as well to get involved with Pokemon and its culture.
Nice, right on.
Yeah. Hopefully that answered it. Yeah. I think there's just different ways to get involved with it. Some people who are into the card collecting game don't play the video games as well. But I think you'll have an advantage if you have a healthy relationship with all of them, because you have a different view of it, in my opinion. I think people buy like people want this set because of this girl right here, but people who only collect don't know the significance of this character, right? But if you played the video game or if you watched the show, or actually she's not in the show, but if you played the video game, you would know who this girl was and how significant she was and why this box is decorated the color that it is. So that's why I say it's always best to get involved with all of those mediums as best as you can. Obviously, you don't have to finish the game into completion and spend 100 hours on the video game, but it does help in the long run, in my opinion. To answer the newer box questions, something that I like to do is there is a website called tcgplayer.com. That website shows you all of the sets, right? And you can click the set and it'll show you all the cards in that set. And it also tell you what the average price is for that set. Now, they do try to do eBay prices as well, but eBay prices move really fast. So that website does its best to keep up with it. And it's a little slower. And I've noticed that the prices are lower on that website versus eBay. So I use TCG Player and eBay as cross-reference. But I would go on that website to see certain sets, to see like if you ever see one in store, write that set down, look at it on TCG Player, and you'll see, all right, does the average price of the hottest card, is that going up or does it look high? Or is it like maybe the highest card worth like maybe $20? Because if the highest card that's being sold in that set is like $20 right now, it's probably not a good set. But if like the top 4 or 5 cards on there are around the same price range, or if they're at least over $20, in my opinion, financially, that's a pretty decent set because people like a large portion of that set. So I would say try to look at those 2 websites congruently, like back to back, and look at what sets you see are modern that are still being sold, and which ones you want to hold on to. I can tell you one that I would hold on to right now. I do have it back there, and I'm going to grab it really quick.
Sweet. Man, this guy's going in depth. Jeez. Dude, all the questions you guys asked me, I just screenshot and just DM him.
I like it even better now that it's TCG player.
So
Yeah, you are a cheat code, bro. You are a cheat sheet.
yeah, exactly.
For
So
real.
I did tell Notice about this set, and I was blown away by how much he had at his local shop, because over here in Cali, the moment that set goes on the shelves, it's gone. Like, people buy this set immediately, but it's Hidden Fates, right? It doesn't have any particular. Let me see if they're. So on the back, Hidden Fates is a big set. It's still like a modern set. It came out last year, and this set still sells out because there's a shiny Charizard in that set. It comes in 3 different tins. So you'll see the Charizard, you'll see a Raichu, and then you'll see where's the other one? You'll see that blue Gyarados. So just think blue, yellow, or red. If you see that, or it comes in a box as well. These are a little harder to find, but those are usually in Walmarts or in Targets. More than likely, I've heard that they're in Walmarts more. But that's the set I would hold on to, and that's one that I'm holding on to. Anytime I see them, which I haven't seen them in stores in the past year, that's why I know it's a hot set. So I have to buy them, unfortunately, from third-party vendors. And so I just hold on to them long term. Right now, the prices of them are kind of stagnant. They're not super high because they're still in print, and there's rumors of more coming out, and they're still printing out more. So I think in the next 10 years, this is going to be like the base set that everybody wants to open up again. I will say, though, I've looked at PSA numbers, and PSA numbers for this set are pretty high. So that determines another factor as well of their like graded cards. So I would say if you can buy these, buy them and hold on to them, or you can just open them up and try to find that Charizard. But I would say this is a good set to hold on to as well.
Sheesh, good looking out, bro.
Yeah. I know Champion's Path was another one people were talking about that was supposed to, yeah, that one. People were talking about holding on to that set.
Yeah.
You can, I think, in my opinion. I don't know. It's so new still. I would say if we still have the same kind of issue with Champion's Path than we do with Hidden Fates, where you're like, as soon as it goes up, it's gone, I would say just hold on to it. So I would say just keep looking at the shelves. Vivid Voltage, nice. That's another one that's kind of having. I would say Vivid Voltage over Champion's Path, in my opinion. I think I tweeted that out. Vivid Voltage, that red one, I like more than Champion's Path.
Hoarder.
Yeah.
I'll be hoarding, bro. I'm bad, man. I'll be hoarding, bro.
That's fine. Like I said, it's kind of part of the collection. I know there are people out there who have this rule, like, I open one, but I keep one sealed, and they keep doing that. So it's like it almost scares me when I hear how many of the old classic sets, like how many boxes there are, because I know that there's someone out there who has a bunch in their warehouse and they're not saying anything.
Ooh.
Because I heard Leonhardt, like the big Pokemon content guy, he says apparently he's got a warehouse full. And I don't know how big of a warehouse he's talking about, but he says he has a warehouse of the old set. And apparently there's not a whole lot of these out there. But if he's saying that, I'm assuming there's somebody else out there who's also saying that they have these as well. Now, there was recently like a controversial thing that happened where they tried opening one not too long ago on a live, and it turned out to be a repackaged one. So when it comes to old stuff like that, some people are scared of that happening, where they're like, oh, is this actually a new box, or did you just open it up and then reseal it? So I would say try to build up a reputation now. So that way, when you do sell it in the future, people will trust you enough to buy it.
Jeez, don't you guys have any more? Have anything to add or questions or anything? I'm just blown away, man. You've helped me personally understand what more of what I'm getting into, or what you know. I just love the artwork.
Yeah,
honestly, that's why I really want to just buy a lot of these.
And I think that's kind of like a big thing as well. That's why I'm pretty, I stand by what I said with the Charizard being like the Mona Lisa for millennials. because I can't think of anything else from my lifetime that meant more.
Mhm.
Like you see that, and especially right now because it's such a big hit in pop culture.
Mhm.
I really can't think of anything else on an art scale that's that big right now.
Right on, man. Well, shoot, Luigi, can you tell the viewers and listeners again how to get a hold of you? And
So all the major social medias I'm on. My handle is LOO_EASY, Luisi. I am on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. What else? I know I'm on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if you want to talk to me directly while I'm gaming, you can definitely do that. I play Pokemon on there as well. So if you have any questions and you want to see how the card works, how the card game works, I play the online game as well. So you can definitely watch me. And I stream that every Tuesday, and I do that up for a little bit on Thursdays. Saturdays, I just kind of wing it and play a different game. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you actually want to see how the game is played, I do that on Twitch as well. So that's LOO_EASY.
Luigi, thank you so much for your time, taking your time off this Sunday evening. And we look forward to harassing you again. But
No problem.
man.
No worries.
Hey, and
thanks for your time, brother.
Of course. You want me to open up a pack? I just thought of that right now. Like we're talking about Pokemon cards. You want me to open one up? Let's do it,
man.
Let's fucking do it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why it took me so long to think of that.
When people open cards, they got to sniff the pack first.
Oh, okay.
Just for good luck.
Sniff it before I open it?
Yeah, we call it mihi.
Okay, Mihi.
Yeah. What pack you got there?
All right, I'm gonna give you guys the choice. All right. So I got
the most expensive one.
All right, most expensive one. All right, let's do it. Okay. So I got Vivid Voltage. Right, that's one of the hot set right now. I got Sword and Shield, which is one of my favorites. It's not the biggest hot set, but then we also got Burning Shadows, which has that Rainbow Charizard in it potentially. So we can either go for Rainbow Charizard, or we can do Vivid Voltage, or we can do all three. Let's just do all three.
Does Vivid Voltage have the Fat Pikachu?
Yes.
Let's go Fat Pikachu,
all right,
baby.
Fat Pikachu it is.
Fat Pikachu.
Right. We'll do both.
You gotta sniff it. You gotta smell it.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right. You can put this on there too if you want.
Do you smell a Fat Pikachu?
I smell a Fat Pikachu, I think.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to do the card trick for you guys too.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Is that where you put the 4?
Yeah, it's the 4 behind. So, ooh, look at that. See? White code card right there. We got that. We got that Pikachu right there. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Here we go. All right. We got Steel. All right. We got that Mag Cargo. Drone Rotom. Swobat. Skidoo. Oh my God. If we get it right now. Ferroseed. Dedenne. Drubber.
Slow roll it.
Duskull. All right. This is that reverse hollow, right?
Whoa.
Oh, all right. We didn't get it, but we got a hollow rare though.
That's still good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Nice.
Let's do one more. We got this right now. We got it.
Yeah, we can't keep that. We got to get one that doesn't give us a pump fake. Ooh, he smell. Yeah, get it in there.
All right, can we get another white code card? Let's see it.
Hey, greens are still good, right?
Greens are still good. We can still get those amazing rares. So we got that green code card. So we can get that amazing rare. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and a 4 to the front. All right, we got that Psychic. I sense with my third eye that we're going to get something hot right now. Let's get it. Delmise.
The third eye.
Stunfisk.
Let's go, baby.
We got that Aromatic Energy right there. Eevee. Trubbish. Sherpet. Choodle.
Slow roll. Here we go.
Riolu. That reverse hollow Loudred. Oh, I thought that was it right there. Executor right there. All right.
That was intense, bro.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yep.
Nice, man.
All right. Those are the two. No Chunky Chew.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, Chunky Chew,
Man.
unfortunately. Hey, I appreciate you guys. You have a good night, all right?
You too, brother.
All right, you have a good night.
All right. Malo, guys.